Hey friends, it's Peter. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I didn't record very much footage today, if anything, and there's actually a reason for that. Today I had to do something that I honestly didn't think I would have to do. I went to a memorial service for a friend of mine who passed away last week. He died of a heart attack last week on July 7th. First heard about it, came as a shock to me. I had no idea he'd been sick. His name was Michael. He was a friend of mine. I knew him from way back in second grade. And today was his service. It was very bittersweet. It was sad that I had to say farewell to one of my friends who I've known almost 20 years. I've known him since August 1996 when we were in second grade together. But at the same time, it was an amazing service because it was a celebration of life for Mike and his life and his family and everything. Mike was a stand-up comedian, was very, very well known in the Chicago comedy circuit, and several of his fellow comedians actually came up and delivered eulogies to him and shared some of the funniest stories about Mike. Many of them I never even heard before, and they're all just great stories, and it was great hearing about Mike and everything he's done over the past several years. So I thought for today's video I would do something a little bit different and just share some memories of Mike, who, for a while was one of my best friends. As I said, Mike and I met in August 1996. He and I had second grade together. We were both in Miss Hublein's second grade class. It was the only class I ever had with Mike during all 9 years I had at Avoca West and Murray Murphy. But it was certainly a memorable year because Mike and I became very, very good friends that year. Mike and I found we had a mutual love of the video game, or of the PC game, Super Munchers. Don't know how many of you are familiar with this game, but you're basically this little green character called the Muncher, and in Super Munchers, it's basically just a potpourri of trivia. Just different categories all around. And what you do is you go, and it gives you a category like animals. You have to go around eating all the different animals. Or it'll say like math terms, and you have to eat a bunch of math terms. And if you get a certain point, you get to put on a cape, and you get to defeat these enemies known as Troggles. And there's 5 different Troggles. There's Smarty, Reggie, Helper, Bashful, and Worker, I believe are their names. And Mike and I, every day during indoor recess and during free time, we would sit back and play this game. Or rather, he would play and I would sit back and watch him play. And it was quite entertaining. We, hours upon hours, would play this game. And I don't know what made us love the game so much, but we just play it every single day. And I still remember the day that Mike got to Mission 4. Every 3 levels, I think, there was a different mission. Mission 1, you had to figure out which Troggle was disguised. Mission 2, you had to find a key that had been hidden. Mission 3, you had to find a password. And Mission 4, Mike had never reached before, and I still remember the day he reached Mission 4 for the first time. The screen pops up, and his reaction, exactly, I remember. It was, Mission 4? He could not believe it. And, of course, because it was the first time he'd seen it, he didn't know what to do and didn't pass the mission. Eventually, he did figure out how to pass the mission. What you had to do was you had to fly up a mountainside and catch the numbers and avoid the anvils and rocks as they fell by. And I still remember when he told me, "Hey, Petey, guess what? I passed Mission 4, and I'll show you how to do it." And he showed me how to do it, and after Mission 4, we went on and beat the game. Quite impressive. I went over to Mike's house exactly once, and I think we played Super Munchers the whole time. And if we didn't, we played on his computer the whole time. I remember the two of us went in his basement the whole time. And then eventually my mom and his mom came down to the basement told us it was time to go home. But Mike and I did more than play Super Munches together. I remember for a very brief time, he and I also took golf lessons together. It was interesting because I was not entertained by it. Golf moved at a very slow pace, and I love playing golf on the computer. There was a game called Fuji Golf I used to play all the time, and I absolutely loved playing it. And Mike got interested in golf too, and I remember he and I, would take, I want to say it was during the summer. I know for sure we went to at least 3 practices. The first 2 was mostly the teacher just kind of telling us what to do, and the third time we actually went out to the range and started hitting the balls down the range. I got bored. I stopped going. I don't know if Mike ever continued or not, but yeah, so obviously it never developed into anything, and I don't think Mike ever continued with golf. I'm not aware of him ever playing golf after that. But yeah, and after 2nd grade, Mike and I wouldn't really call us best friends, but our friendship kind of, I don't want to say fell by the wayside, but we kind of moved on, except for the fact that we never stopped being friends. I mean, we continued to remain friends our entire lives. When I got Facebook, Mike was one of the first people I added as a friend. And over the past several years, I got thoroughly entertained seeing all of his statuses about stand-up comedy, and every single one of his statuses made me laugh. Every single one of them. It was joke after joke after joke, and just, ever since he passed last week, I've been going on his Facebook, and I've been looking up his old posts and seeing all this humorous stuff he's been posting, and it's just been making me laugh again, and it's helped me kind of cope with his loss, which, was very unexpected. Like I said, I didn't even know he was ill. I didn't even know he'd been struggling with this illness he had. He never let on to it. He never gave any clue. At least I never picked up on anything that he had been ill. There's 2 recent memories of Mike that I'll really appreciate. One of them, it was about 7-8 months ago. He came into contact with a young man named Bradley, who people that went to my junior high will know Bradley. He was part of a special ed program. He was autistic, and he was very, very talented, though. I remember he was a very talented piano player, and like most people, Bradley and I had kind of lost touch over the years. Well, one day I log onto Facebook and I notice it says you've been tagged. Michael Shapiro tagged you in something. So I go, oh, that's interesting. So I click the link and Mike says, calling all Murray Murphy people. Does anybody remember Bradley? Well, apparently he had co-hosted an event that Mike had attended and I believe had performed comedy at. And he tagged everybody that had gone to Murray Murphy and said, hey guys, check out all the stuff that's been going on. And pretty much everybody who had gone to Murray Murphy, no matter how negative their memories were, was tagged in this post, and we all liked it, and we all commented on it, saying, thanks for sharing, Mike. We all appreciate it, and it was great seeing that again. The other memory, it's actually the last conversation I ever had with Mike. It's from back in, I want to say October. It was around the time of the election. And Mike had posted that he had seen, in Illinois, we live in the 10th Congressional District, had a very competitive election that year. Incumbent Brad Schneider was facing off against Bob Dold, the man he had defeated 2 years earlier. Well, Mike said he had been watching TV, and he saw an anti-Bob Dold ad, followed by a pro-Bob Dold ad, followed again by an anti-Bob Dold ad. So I was amused by it, and being a political junkie, I thought I would share my thoughts on this. And I commented, and I said, oh, Mike, that's nothing. I said, here in Iowa, I saw one political ad, followed by another political ad, followed by another one, followed by yet another one. I saw 5 political ads in a row, including one for a candidate who wasn't even running in our area. And his comment to me was, it was something to the effect of, It never ends, does it, Petey? And then he made another comment saying, I hope you don't mind I called you Petey, because that's really the only name I know you by. Because on Facebook I go by Peter, and in my professional life I go by Peter. And nearly everybody I went to high school with and nearly everybody I went to college with calls me Peter, with a few exceptions. And he basically was, he wasn't apologizing for calling me Petey, but he said, basically, I hope you don't mind it. And my comment to him was, no, I don't mind at all. In fact, I mean, I love being called Petey by my old friends. In fact, I get kind of weirded out when they call me Peter, because that's not the name I went by in elementary school or in junior high. So, like I said, that's the last time Mike and I interacted. And, you know, there are some regrets I have. I regret not really talking to Mike as often as I should have over the years, and I also regret not attending one of his comedy shows. My friend Sid had the opportunity to attend one of his comedy shows a couple years ago, and Sid told me it was about the funniest thing he had ever seen. He said Mike was great on stage, was so confident what he was doing, and, you know, afterwards the two just met up and just had a blast with each other, getting caught up, and, you know, it was my dream to one day go, and, you know, it won't happen here on Earth, but I know one day I'll get to see his comedy show, you know. So my message to Mike is this. Mike, I don't know when I'm next going to see you again, but know that the next time we do meet, I'm going to be there in the front row at your next comedy show. I'm going to be there cheering the loudest, I'm going to be laughing the hardest, and, you know, if you can make me fall out of my seat laughing, which I think you can do, I'll know it's been a great show, and I've got the confidence that you'll do it. I don't know when the next time we're going to meet is, Mike, but whenever that will be, it's going to be a great time. So with that, I'm going to end today's video by saying I'll see you guys all later.